Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's afternoon now, right?
Technically, no, 3 more minutes.
Getting close.
Yeah.
Okay. We're live, PCA 2022. We're here in the Crown Heads area booth. We're here with John Huber. How you doing, sir?
Good, Emmett. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see
Our
you.
annual visit.
Yes.
It's good to see you guys. Good to see the crew.
So how's the show been for you? How's the last year been for you?
The show's been great, man. I mean, I've told this story many times so far this year, but 10 years ago, we were in Orlando. It was Mike and I's first trade show as Crown Heads. And we had 2 chairs, a pop-up screen, and we were writing orders. And so now 10 years later, we're the title sponsor and did the opening reception, have a brand new booth. So feels good, man.
That's
feels
awesome.
Real good, yeah.
Congratulations. You guys are
Thank you.
continuing to grow every year.
I try not to drink the Kool-Aid, but in that case, I'm like, yeah, we survived.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you sponsored the opening gala or party. We got to try most of your new cigars there. We enjoyed all of them. You want to kind of tell us what you have going on that's new?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole lot new for the Crown Head side of it, except for Le Patissier is now a regular production brand.
Right.
Last year was an exclusive. We branched that out into a new range of Vitolas. And then we did another PCA exclusive called Sfumato and C Major, which is like a complete 180 of what we've been doing, which is fun for me. We got to do something completely different. Yeah, and then the big news for us is that Tim's back, Tim Osgener. So he is part of Crown Heads, and his family of brands is going to be under Osgener Family Cigars. And his first release is Bosphorus, and he'll tell you guys more about that. And then he's got an LE called Pais Anastasia. So that's, you put that with the recent news of the FDA ruling with Judge Mehta, and
it's a good time.
It's a really good time, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than the alternative, for sure.
So did you have to twist his arm? Were you like always hoping he would kind of come back, or did he approach you? How did that come about?
I never, in the last, I would say 9.5 years or whatever, it was never even on the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim's been very active in the Nashville community with Oz Family Arts and all kinds of different things. And we always tease him and say he should be the mayor of Nashville, And then at the end of last year, Mike told me, he said, "Hey, I got news for you." I said, "What?" He says, "Tim wants to come back." And I'm like, "Let's go." It wasn't like I was hoping for it, but when it happened, I was like, "This feels really good."
Yeah.
Because he's got a whole different creative energy, and we obviously had a history together at CAO.
Absolutely.
So it's like the band's back together. So it's fun.
He, from the beginning of Crown Heads, was he always like kind of an investor, silent partner type?
Not initially, but early on, because he had a non-compete with STG when that whole thing went down. So he was an early investor, we'll put it that way, but not like active. Like I never saw Tim for like a long time. Like he was doing his thing, we were doing our thing, and he just during the pandemic, like he'll tell you, he did a lot of soul searching, and he had a life coach even, and said, what makes your heart tick? What do you feel good about? And he's like, man, I miss cigars,
Yeah.
And
it's hard to stay away.
Yeah. So when he started working on his brands and everything, I was like, look, we'll figure this out as we go along, but I'm going to stay out of your lane creatively because I don't want it to look like a Crown Heads retread because I've kind of developed our vibe, if you will, right? Yeah. So, he would ask me, what's my take on this, that, and the other, but I would just say, yeah, but I wouldn't art direct it. So, and it worked out great because I think he's got his own look, his own feel, his own vibe, his own way of telling the story, and I have mine. So
his cigar is going to be rolled at Pichardo as well, right?
Correct.
So that I imagine that whole partnership, it just keeps getting better for you guys. I mean, that allows you the creativity, it allows you to bring Tim back and have him kind of do his thing independently. And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've done a lot of good things in the last 3 years with that factory. That's not to say we're not doing things actively with the Garcias or with Ernesto Perez Carrillo.
Yeah, you still have all your annual releases.
Absolutely, and actually behind the scenes, we're doing a little bit more with Ernie going forward. I was in Miami with them for a day about a month ago, and they're at a point now where they're kind of catching up a little bit with their massive back orders from having two number one.
Big couple of years.
Mount Rushmore guy, So, and I love him. He's always been like a real father to me in the industry, and so now we've got the door open a little bit more. Like, guys, if you want to do okay. So we're working on new things. In fact, I'm actually working on stuff post show now. I mean, everything that you see here, the dishes have been done for a while. So I'm working on the next meal already. So that's exciting for me too, because I get to do more stuff with Ernie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, speaking of growth, let's talk about somebody that we also love that works for you, Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
it seems like every year he has more responsibilities, and he's continuing to
Yeah.
grow with you. Like he's doing shows on his own. Like,
Yep.
how have you seen him grow personally?
Oh man, it's true story. I went after Miguel 2 times to make him an offer to come to be part of Crown Heads over the years. And we got, the first time it was a no. The second time we got really close. And then 2 weeks later, he gave me the official no. And I'm like, so like in 2017, I went after it one more time.
Yeah.
And we got him that time. And it was like a massive get for us, you know. And he's such a quality guy.
Yes.
He's such an asset to our team.
And it seems like a really good fit vibe-wise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, a lot of the guys on the floor right now we've all known each other for over 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, the band was back together. It's like I've known Tim since '96.
Yep.
You know, Mike, I've known him since the early 2000s when he came on board. Miguel, I've known him since he was 21. You know what I mean? So we've all started off, and we're all back together. You know,
that's awesome.
So same with Brian. Brian's been around. Adam and I started at CAO 2 weeks from each other. So
yeah,
it's nice.
So do you have anything else, events or anything you're working on that you want to talk about in the future, later on in the year?
Well, I mean, Las Calaveras, literally within the next couple hours, is going to be landing in our warehouse. So I feel bad for Thaddeus back home, but he's going to be receiving 15 pallets of cigars that need to be shipped out in the next week or 2.
Yeah.
So that's still to go.
What's the color theme this year on those?
It's like a light blue, Carolina blue kind of a thing. It pops really good on that wrapper. We did a Corojo wrapper with the Garcias, which we've never done before on that brand. And it looks really dramatic. It looks really, really good. And the cigar smoke's fantastic. But yeah, I'm just working on new stuff, new blends. I mean, somebody asked me, like, what do I usually smoke in the office? I said, everything I'm smoking in the office right now doesn't have a band on it. I mean, I've got bundles and cigars laying out. And it's a big hodgepodge of, like, samples.
So you smoke more for things you're working on, not to just be in the moment necessarily. You're always looking forward. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of been my MO for a while now, really. So, I mean, once in a while, I'll go back and I'll grab something off the shelf just to see how it's going and how it's progressing. But for the most part, 90% of the cigars I'm smoking right now, I mean, heck, I even had a guy yesterday come up to me and give me 2 bundles that he just rolled from a factory 2 days ago, hand delivered them to me. So I'm going through those. And so it's always a lot of work, less. I get that. You know, I envy the guys that get to go to the tobacco stores and just kind of hang out and have a cigar and enjoy that moment.
Right.
That doesn't happen in my life. Yeah. It's work.
Yeah. How often do you have to go back and kind of intervene in like continuing blends yourself, or do you more trust the factory or the charter to do that?
It's kind of to a point. Every factory has its own way of working, right? But it's to a point now where everybody I'm working with, we kind of know each other's idiosyncrasies, and so if I say, okay, look, I want more bounce to the cigar, so let's swap that Jalapa over for Esteli or something. It's a very easy thing to do, just conversationally, as opposed to me having to be there all the time or whatever. So it works really well, you know.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty much all the questions I had for
you.
Easy. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say to our audience before we let you go?
Just everybody out there that's smoking Crown Heads, thank you for your support. I mean, we could not be here in this booth without everybody, like you guys, even media and stuff. Thank you for shining the light.
Of course.
And keep enjoying your smokes.
All right. Well, we wish you and Tim the best in all the future.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you again soon.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of the show.